There are currently less talented people than you that have finished more games, thus get more experiences and opportunities than you. And I remember I was exactly like you. I didn't have it my goal to finish my first game. I was just overthinking how I was going to learn. I was just watching all these tutorials, afraid of actually failing and building things myself. And because of that, I just ended up wasting years stuck in tutorial hell, because tutorials is not the way to learn game development. You're not going to remember anything from tutorials, is what I figured out. But I was such a perfectionist, just overthinking, overcomplicating everything, thinking like, okay, I need to learn this before I start building. I'm just going to learn this and then I'm going to start building. But my learning just consists of tutorials. I didn't actually build to learn how to build. You see how this doesn't make any sense? And it wasn't before I just stuck to one project. I just opened one project one day. I called it Square Shooter. Just made a ton of features. I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to not restart this time. I'm going to work on this project until I can actually finish it, until it's a game. I stuck to it for days, then weeks, then months. Days when it was hard, I still opened the project. I didn't restart. I just completely turned my brain off, didn't think about anything. I just thought, I'm going to finish this game. And that's when I finally actually learned game development. I learned how to program, I learned how to actually finish games. And now I have the opportunity to make Steam games. I'm working on my Steam game right now. And I also have opportunities to sell my tools on the Unity Asset Store, get sales from that, and so on and so on. But I wanted to understand that this is not a position I would be able to be in. If I just watch tutorials, I just kept restarting projects, because with that, you're not going to get the experience from actually finishing something, which is the whole point of game development. It's to finish games. Like, you're in game development because you want to make games. You're not in game development because you want to watch a tutorial or you want to like build small prototypes that you can't show anyone. You actually want to make games that people can download. For example, when I visit some friends or I meet some new people, I can get them to download my game. If we start talking about like, oh, I'm a game developer, they can ask me like something about game development. I can say, oh, you can download my game. It's on the App Store and Google Play. Like, every single one in the world can download my game. I can watch them download it. I can watch them play it. They can have fun playing the game because my game is actually addicting and it's fun. That's what game development is all about. It's about these experiences and be able to sharing your game, sharing your creativity with the world. So that's my goal with this channel. I want to stop you from being a perfectionist, watching tutorials, restarting projects. It all comes down to perfectionism, and I'm not perfect in this either. Like, I still work on like some small tasks. I'll make like the settings before I even make the first level in my game right now. Like, okay, I'm a bit of a perfectionist too, but it's all about like realizing it and not making it that big, so you're not even making games, you're not even trying, because you say like, oh, no one is going to play it anyway, so what's the point? Like, we need to manage it, and that's my goal, to manage the perfectionism so you can at least like finish your game and get all the opportunities. You can sell your game, publish it, whatever it might be. So let's talk more about perfectionism. I'm going to talk about why perfectionism is bad, but also in what areas perfectionism is actually good. So I know a lot of people that talk about like perfectionism, bad, okay, stop. And I've also been like that, kind of, but I've thought about it. I want to frame it in a way that perfectionism, it's bad in the sense that if you don't finish your game, if perfectionism like prevents you from actually finishing, then okay, it's a bad thing. But it's good in the way that you're also going to make something good that you're proud of. You're not going to release some slop, some AI slop things, right? So perfectionism is both good and bad. But first, let's go over why it's bad. So it can be if you just scrap projects that could be successful if you continue. It can be if you watch tutorials for hours because you're unconsciously afraid of failing. It can be if your goal isn't even to finish game, like I talked about. You say like, oh, no one is going to play the game. What's the point? It's going to be bad anyway because I've never made a game before and I don't have experience with that. Things like that. It can also be bad if you just spend hours polishing before all the features are completed. So that's the reasons. I think that was 4. For example, with the third point, I think it's really interesting. Your goal is not to finish games. No one's going to play that point. I think it's really interesting because you get some ego hit. Like, I think it all comes down to ego and like perfectionism and ego. They kind of tie together on this point. So I think if your goal isn't even to finish games, you just want to make prototypes, you enjoy making that, maybe even have some programming experience, you can actually make good systems. Like, I know some people that can do that, but they don't finish games. If that's you, then I think it all comes down to like that you're afraid of the ego hit that you get if the game isn't perfect. If you have some bug in the game, okay, people can maybe call you out for that. if you like, it's very easy and very safe to not finish anything because you're not even trying. And this is much bigger than just give up, and that's like most people in life. They don't try, right? They don't try, so they can't fail, because failing is painful. Failing is actually painful. But the thing is that failing is also required for you to learn. Failure is required for you to get better. Failure is required for you to get experiences, so that you can learn and grow as a person, and let's keep it to game developer and grow as a game developer, become a better game developer, make better games. So let's talk about why perfectionism, it can also be good. But first, I just want to ask you, do you have over 6 hours a week to work on game development and you want to release your first game? If so, then I 100% guarantee you that if you join my paid program, which is called Smart Indie, with the first link below, then you're going to release your first game in only 60 days or less. Even if you have zero experience, I'm going to walk you through learning the basics. Or if you're stuck in tutorial hell, I'm going to walk you through how to escape and how to finish your first game fast. If you don't release within 2 months of journey, I'm personally going to coach you for free until release. So I'm literally going to tell you step by step what to do, because I'm so confident that if you follow the course, then you're 100% going to release. It's science-backed, it's proven in my own journey, and it's the best and fastest way to finish your first game. So you can scroll down and click the first link below right now to join my paid program. It's called Smart Indie, and you can learn more about it there. So when is perfectionism actually good? So perfectionism, I think it's really good if it motivates you to make thoughtful decisions about things that are important in your game. So thoughtful game decisions. This can be in game design, for example. If perfectionism makes it so that you're really thoughtful about how you're going to make this vibration in your mobile game, which is simple, right? If you have a simple mobile game, you kind of have to nail the design choices, because the execution, like in general, okay, you can make the mobile game, but can you make it feel nice? Can you make it addicting? And to make it that, there are just these small details. For example, when I made my mobile game, one like very important thing in my mobile game to make it more addicting was that you just simply tap when you die. You just tap everywhere on the screen, no matter where you tap, you're going to restart in like 0.1 second. You're tapping, right? You tap, that's the game. And then you can literally just tap once and then you restart. A new game starts. And there's no way to exit the game like once you restart. And it's very simple to start. You just tap again, right, and hold to charge. And it's so important for the addictiveness of the game. It's so important. But it's such a small detail that I had to be thoughtful about. I had to really think about, how do I make this more addicting? And this was it. So if perfectionism makes it so that you make these thoughtful decisions that can really help your game, that's a good thing. In other words, if your features are intentional and you don't include unnecessary features, then that's really good. The second point where perfectionism can be really good is that it makes you spend more time on the actual game idea before you commit. So for example, if you're really picky about the game idea that you pick, is this actually fun? Can I actually make something fun out of this? Can I actually finish it? It's realistic. If you're really picky and you're really a perfectionist with your game idea, I think that's a good thing. Because right now with AI and stuff like that, it's not that important that you execute perfectly, because if you can make something, you can just ask AI right now. Like, AI is awesome. AI is really good. You can make like a full game with AI. I use AI a ton in my Steam game right now, and it works very well. And that doesn't mean you don't need to learn the basics. You obviously need to learn the basics to be able to understand and use AI efficiently and actually finish your games. But it also means that the execution, like your technical skills in code, just gets less and less important, and your idea gets more and more important. And this also comes down to that Steam is more saturated right now. There are a lot of games that are published on Steam, a lot of games that are published through App Store, Google Play. It has a much lower technical requirement to actually finish the games and publish them, right? But if your idea is good, if it's unique, if it's weird, if it's like fun and addicting, if your idea is fun, if your idea is unique, if it's a good idea, if it's an idea that AI would never come up with, then I think that's awesome, because that's what's going to make you stand out. Not if you execute it on the game, make it perfect. If your idea, like what you can describe of your game in one sentence, your one sentence game pitch, if it's fun, if it's unique, if it's weird, if it's addicting, that's the point. That's really important. Because right now the idea decides basically 80% of how good your indie game is going to be. And this is especially true for beginners, because you don't have the technical skills to make these awesome unique features, but you can get awesome unique ideas. Just to wrap it up, if I could tell my younger self beginning in development one thing, it would be this. Finishing your first game should be your number one priority, not to make it big or make it perfect, just to finish something small that someone else can enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to join my paid program, Smart Indie, and get the 100% release guarantee if you follow the blueprint, then you can click the first link below to learn more about Smart Indie there. You can just scroll down in the description or the comments and you'll see the link. Hope this video helped you a ton. Finish your game, please.